What if I told you the reason your money is stuck is not bad luck, not the economy, not even your effort, but God Himself? What if the closed doors, the failed deals, the missed opportunities are not punishments, but protection? A rabbi once said, when money doesn't come, don't ask why it's blocked, ask what it's trying to teach you. Most people think delay means something is wrong. They assume if money isn't coming fast enough, they must be failing, or worse, that God is ignoring them. But that perspective is incomplete. In many cases, the delay you're experiencing is not a rejection, it's a process of preparation. Imagine giving a large amount of money to someone who hasn't yet developed discipline, patience, or emotional control. That money doesn't solve their problems, it magnifies them. If they are impulsive, they become more reckless. If they lack direction, they become more lost. Wealth doesn't fix character, it exposes it. That's why, before financial elevation, there is often a season of internal development. A rabbi once explained that God is more concerned with who you become than what you receive. Because if you become the right person, what you receive will not only stay, it will grow. But if you receive wealth without becoming ready for it, it will eventually slip through your hands. This is why the delay exists, not to frustrate you, but to protect your future. During this period, you may notice that other areas of your life are improving. You're thinking differently. You're more aware of your habits. You're learning from mistakes. These are not small changes. They are foundational upgrades. It's like building a structure. Before adding more weight, the foundation must be strengthened. Otherwise, everything collapses under pressure. The problem is, most people don't recognize this phase. Instead of embracing growth, they resist it. They rush decisions, chase quick money, or compare themselves to others who seem to be moving faster. In doing so, they interrupt their own preparation. They try to force outcomes before they are ready, and that often leads to the very losses they fear. Patience in this context is not passive, it's active alignment. It means continuing to improve, to learn, to refine your mindset, even when there is no immediate financial reward. It means trusting that the unseen work you are doing within yourself is directly connected to the results you will eventually see outside. There is also a deeper layer to this delay, timing. Even if you are ready internally, external conditions must align as well. The right opportunity, the right people, the right moment. These things cannot always be controlled. What you can control is your readiness when that moment arrives, and that readiness is built during the delay. Think of it this way, if success came instantly, you would value it less. But when it comes after growth, struggle, and patience, you treat it differently. You manage it better, you respect it, and because of that it stays. So instead of asking, why is my money delayed, a better question is, who am I becoming during this delay? That shift in perspective changes everything. It moves you from frustration to awareness, from impatience to purpose. Because in the end, the delay is not empty time, it is filled with transformation, and when the preparation is complete, the flow of money will no longer feel forced or temporary. It will feel natural, stable, and aligned with the person you've become. There's a pattern many people quietly experience but rarely understand. Money comes in, and then it disappears. You earn, you feel a sense of progress, and just when things seem to stabilize, something unexpected happens. An expense shows up, a bad decision is made, an investment fails, and suddenly, you're back where you started, or even worse. At first it feels like bad luck. You might blame circumstances, people, or timing. But when the same cycle repeats again and again, it stops being random. It becomes a signal. Because repeated financial loss is rarely just about money, it's about behavior, mindset, and the lessons that haven't yet been learned. A rabbi once shared a powerful idea. When a lesson is ignored, it doesn't disappear, it returns, often stronger than before. And one of the most common ways it returns is through money. Not because money itself is the problem, but because money reveals patterns quickly and clearly. For example, if someone struggles with impulsive decisions, that trait will show up in how they spend or invest. If someone acts out of fear, they may pull out of opportunities too early or avoid growth altogether. If someone chases quick results without understanding the process, they may fall into risky situations repeatedly. These patterns don't just affect one moment, they create cycles. What makes it even more challenging is that people often focus only on the outcome, not the cause. They say, "I lost money," but they don't ask, "Why did I make that decision?" Without that reflection, the same mindset leads to the same action, and the same action leads to the same result. This is where the idea of correction comes in. Financial loss in this sense is not always punishment, it's feedback. It's a form of guidance that pushes you to become more aware, more disciplined, and more intentional. But that only works if you're willing to pause and analyze what's really happening. Instead of reacting emotionally to loss, there's a need to study it. Look at your decisions. What was the reasoning behind them? Were they based on logic or emotion? Were you patient or were you rushing? Were you following a clear plan or just hoping for a positive outcome? These questions are uncomfortable, but they are necessary. Because once you identify the pattern, you gain power over it. You begin to see that the problem isn't just external, it's internal. And that realization is not meant to discourage you, but to free you. It means that by changing your thinking and your habits, you can change your results. There's also an important shift that happens when you start viewing loss as a lesson instead of a failure. It removes the fear attached to money. Instead of feeling defeated, you become curious. Instead of avoiding risk completely, you approach it with more awareness. You stop repeating mistakes blindly and start making decisions consciously. Over time, this breaks the cycle. The same situations may appear, but your response will be different. And because your response changes, the outcome changes too. Eventually, you reach a point where money no longer slips through your hands in the same way. Not because luck suddenly improved, but because you improved. You became someone who understands value, who respects process, and who makes decisions with clarity instead of impulse. So when money keeps coming and going, don't just see it as loss, see it as a mirror. It's reflecting something back to you, something that once understood can transform not just your finances, but the way you approach every opportunity in your life. There are moments in life that feel especially painful, not because you never had a chance, but because you almost did. The opportunity was right there. You could see the outcome, you could feel the progress, everything seemed aligned, and then suddenly it disappeared. No clear reason, no warning, just a closed door where an open one used to be. In those moments, it's natural to feel frustrated. You start questioning yourself. What did I do wrong? Why does this always happen? It can even feel unfair, as if something is working against you. But what if the truth is the opposite? What if that closed door wasn't a loss, but a form of protection? A rabbi once explained that not every opportunity that looks good is actually good for you. Some opportunities arrive dressed like blessings, but carry consequences you cannot yet see. They might drain your energy, pull you away from your purpose, or connect you with the wrong people at the wrong time. From the outside, they look perfect, but from a higher perspective, they are misaligned. The challenge is that we judge opportunities based on immediate results. We see money, growth, or status, and we assume it must be right, but we rarely consider the long-term impact. We don't always see what that path would demand from us, what it might cost us internally, or where it might lead us years down the line. That's why some doors close at the last moment, not because you weren't capable, but because that path wasn't meant to be yours, and if it had opened, it could have taken you further away from what truly aligns with your life. Think about how many times people succeed in something that later becomes a burden, a job that pays well but destroys their peace, a business that grows fast but brings constant stress and unhealthy compromises, a partnership that looks profitable but ends in conflict and loss. In these situations, the real problem wasn't failure, it was success in the wrong direction. When an opportunity disappears, it creates a gap, and that gap is uncomfortable. It feels like something has been taken from you. But that empty space is also intentional. It prevents you from settling into something that isn't right, and it creates room for something better to enter. The difficulty is trusting this process when you don't yet see the replacement. It requires patience and a shift in perspective. Instead of focusing only on what was lost, you begin to ask a different question. What was I just saved from? That question opens your mind to possibilities you hadn't considered. It also changes how you approach future opportunities. Instead of chasing every option that promises quick results, you become more selective. You start looking for alignment, not just reward. You pay attention to how something feels, not just what it offers. This awareness protects you from repeating mistakes and helps you move with more clarity. Over time, you may even look back at those closed doors with gratitude. What once felt like rejection starts to make sense. You see how certain paths would have led to stress, distraction, or even bigger losses, and you realize that what you thought was a setback was actually a form of guidance. So when an opportunity disappears at the last moment, don't rush to label it as failure. It may be something far more meaningful. It may be a quiet form of protection, steering you away from what isn't meant for you and keeping you aligned with something greater. Because not every yes moves you forward. Sometimes it's the unexpected no that keeps you on the right path. Our relationship with money is often shaped by more than effort or skill. It's shaped by intention. The way we think about money, the reasons we want it, and the emotions we attach to it all create a powerful force that either attracts wealth or blocks it. A desire rooted in fear, greed, or ego will often lead to obstacles, delays, and repeated struggles, whereas intention aligned with purpose, service, or growth tends to open doors naturally. Many people work tirelessly, chasing money with relentless energy, yet they feel stuck. They may be successful in their field, disciplined in their habits, and consistent in their actions, but something always prevents the flow they desire. The missing piece is often intention. Are they seeking money to feel secure, to prove themselves, to impress others? Or are they seeking it to create value, to serve, or to fulfill a meaningful purpose? A rabbi explains that the universe, or God, responds to alignment. Money, like any resource, will follow energy. If your energy is chaotic, self-serving, or reactive, the flow is blocked. But when your desire is clear, selfless, and rooted in value creation, the flow becomes natural. Money is not simply a reward for effort. It is a reflection of the alignment between your inner world and the opportunities around you. This is why intention matters more than action alone. Someone may work 10 hours a day making countless sales or completing multiple projects, yet their financial life remains stagnant. Meanwhile, another person may take less action, but operate with clear purpose, integrity, and intention, and opportunities seem to appear almost effortlessly. It's not luck, it's alignment. The way we approach our financial goals either attracts wealth or repels it. Another key element of intention is awareness. Many people are unconscious of why they want money. They chase it blindly, hoping it will solve other problems like insecurity, fear, or dissatisfaction. But money cannot fill a gap that has nothing to do with finances. In fact, chasing money for the wrong reasons often leads to repeated blocks, losses, or stress. The energy behind your desire needs to be examined. You must ask yourself, is this desire pure, or is it reactive? Is it grounded in values, or is it chasing validation? Once you clarify intention, your decisions change. You become more selective about opportunities, investments, and commitments. You notice which choices align with your purpose and which are distractions. You stop pursuing money blindly and start pursuing value intentionally. And interestingly, this shift often coincides with an increase in financial flow. The block dissolves because your internal energy now matches the external opportunities. Moreover, when your intentions are aligned, you also handle wealth more responsibly. Money is not only easier to attract, but it is easier to retain, multiply, and use effectively. This is why rabbis emphasize internal alignment over external effort. God or the universe doesn't simply hand money to someone who works hard. It hands it to someone who is ready emotionally, mentally, and spiritually to manage and amplify it. In practice, this means examining your motives deeply and honestly. It means taking time to understand what you truly want and why you want it. It means ensuring that your pursuit of money does not come at the expense of integrity, relationships, or personal growth. It means acting from a place of purpose rather than reaction. When intention is clear, the path forward becomes visible. Opportunities align, decisions become easier, and obstacles that once seemed insurmountable begin to dissolve. Money stops being a source of stress and becomes a tool for fulfillment. Ultimately, the key to financial flow is not simply effort or luck. It is the purity and alignment of your intentions with your highest purpose. There is a profound truth about money that most people overlook. Wealth flows naturally when your life is aligned with your values, purpose, and actions. It's not merely about working harder, hustling longer, or chasing every opportunity that comes your way. True financial expansion begins internally, with spiritual, mental, and emotional alignment. When your inner world is coherent and focused, the external world responds. When it's scattered, chaotic, or misaligned, money becomes elusive, no matter how much effort you put in. Alignment begins with clarity about what you value and why. Many people pursue money for the wrong reasons: status, validation, or fear. They measure success by numbers rather than meaning. This creates tension between their desires and their actions. A rabbi teaches that God or the universe responds not to quantity of effort, but to the quality of alignment. When your life choices and intentions resonate with your highest purpose, money flows as a natural consequence. Think about the energy behind your daily decisions. Are they deliberate and intentional, or reactive and distracted? Alignment means your work, your spending, your investments, and your goals are in harmony. Each action supports your purpose and reflects your values. When there is congruence, external opportunities appear as if drawn to you. Doors open that previously seemed closed, connections form more easily, and you are better able to recognize and act on financial opportunities. Alignment also shapes your mindset toward abundance. When your focus is on value creation rather than accumulation, your perspective shifts from scarcity to possibility. Instead of chasing money frantically, you focus on contributing, serving, or building something meaningful. Paradoxically, this focus often accelerates financial flow because your energy attracts the right circumstances, people, and resources. A rabbi emphasizes that money responds to the energy you radiate, not simply to your effort or ambition. Another aspect of alignment is consistency between belief and action. Many people say they want wealth but behave in ways that contradict that desire. They procrastinate, avoid risk, or make impulsive decisions. When there is misalignment between what you profess and what you do, money becomes blocked. True expansion requires congruence. Your actions, habits, and decisions must reflect your declared purpose. When internal and external realities match, wealth does not need to be forced, it flows naturally. Spiritual alignment also plays a crucial role. Money is not merely a financial tool, it carries energy. If your life is in conflict, morally, emotionally, or spiritually, money can stagnate. Aligning with higher principles, such as integrity, service, and responsibility, creates a channel for financial flow. Wealth is attracted not simply by skill or strategy, but by resonance with these higher values. This is why some people who work tirelessly never seem to prosper. They are technically capable, but internally misaligned. Alignment doesn't mean waiting passively for wealth to appear. It means acting with awareness, purpose, and integrity. It means choosing opportunities that match your values rather than taking every option out of fear or greed. It means developing habits, mindset, and relationships that support long-term growth rather than short-term gain. When these elements converge, financial expansion becomes inevitable because it is supported by every layer of your life, your actions, your mind, and your energy. Ultimately, when alignment is achieved, money stops being a struggle and starts being a reflection of the life you are building. Opportunities, investments, and income no longer feel like random chance. They feel like a natural extension of who you are and what you value. The flow is no longer external, it is the mirror of internal coherence. A rabbi teaches that the richest people are not always the hardest workers, but the most aligned ones. When your values, actions, and purpose are synchronized, the universe conspires to support you, and money flows in a way that is effortless, sustainable, and abundant.